Welcome back to the BGF Podcast, episode number 28. I'm your host, Gianluca, alongside of
Brandon.
And boys, oh my God, we're going to Minnesota in 3 days.
We're almost there. Feels like it's forever we've been waiting. But we're finally going to see our first NFL game.
We picked a good one, I believe, at least. Monday nighter, we're going to get our first primetime experience at a football game. US Bank's supposed to be a very nice stadium, so, we're excited. Plus, it's our favorite teams going at it, so. Let us know who you guys think is going to win down in the comment section down below. But, anyways, this week we got the spreads coming up, so let's just get right into it. We have a game tonight. Sorry.
The score is currently 3-2 for me, so let's see if you could come back here.
I need a win, and I need Brandon to lose and Survivor at least 1 week.
Yeah, still undefeated. 6 weeks in, I'm impressed.
It's pretty good. It's elite. I'm at 2 strikes in that one, so it's not looking good, but we're going to turn it around this week.
Especially now that I've already used a lot of the big teams. Like 2 strikes, I could easily hit that.
That's true. I gotta be consistent with. I gotta pick the right guys, but whatever. Anyways.
When you pick teams like the Vikings.
Hey.
Anyway, let's get into it tonight. We got the Thursday night football game. The New Orleans Saints are 2.5-point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is solely because of the uncertainty on Trevor Lawrence if he's gonna play tonight.
I agree.
And it is in New Orleans as well. So I'm not too sure where I'm heading in this game because, it's obviously, CJ Beathard would be the backup if Lawrence isn't good to go. So if he's able to play, that'll make a big difference in my decision here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Jacksonville has been rolling ever since that London stretch. It's just unfortunate that Trevor Lawrence is dealing with an issue. But, at 4-2, I feel like if he's not ready to go, I wouldn't risk him personally. Plus, you're playing an out-of-conference team, so you could technically drop this one. Obviously, you don't want to do that, but I'm going to take New Orleans here just because of the uncertainty in the Jags team. But if Lawrence does play, I will switch my pick to Jackson. I don't know if that's allowed.
Yeah, no, I'll just take the Saints as well.
Okay, you know what? We'll do the Saints. Yeah.
Just so it's more of a...
If I was a betting man and Trevor Lawrence is playing, I'm taking the Jags. Especially at 2.5 dogs, why not? Anyways, moving on to the Sunday slate. I don't think we have a London game this week. I think these are all American.
Yeah, it's all...
Got the Las Vegas Raiders, 3-point favorites versus the Chicago Bears. What do you think about that one?
It was 2.5 points. Oh,
3.
3-point favorites. Obviously, the Raiders have been, as of late, they're playing a bit better, but they have been playing pretty easy matchups, so that's probably the reason why. Jimmy Garoppolo, I know he got banged up in the last game, so I don't know. Brian Hoyer came in. And these guys was at the third quarter. They used O'Connell at one point. I don't know what is the situation there. Do you know if Garoppolo is?
I know he's dealing with something. I think he's game time as well. I could be mistaken with that, but I also know on the other side, Justin Fields is out.
Playing. Yeah, that's for sure. No, Field isn't playing, so just on that, I think I'd take the Raiders here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Raiders. It's a pretty favorable spread. Plus, we know how good that defense is. It's pretty locked down. So, I agree with you here and take the Las Vegas Raiders. Moving on to our next matchup, we got the Cleveland Browns, 2.5-point favorites versus the Indianapolis Colts. And we saw what the Colts looked like last week. Defense was abysmal. Offense wasn't moving the football until late. Garbage time numbers don't really count. And Cleveland, in my opinion, has a better defense than Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
That D-line is legit. It's going to be causing all kinds of stress on Gardner Minshew, who is the veteran. Maybe Jonathan Taylor has a crazy day and Zach Moss, they do some sort of crazy carrying, but I think this defense is going to be a little too much, especially at 2.5 points. I like that line a lot. I'm going to go with the Browns here.
Yeah, I agree. I think at 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. I will. With the way the Browns performed last week against the Niners, they were very impressive in that game, especially that defense.
Yeah.
And I think with Gardner Minshew at quarterback, they should give him a lot of problems. And I don't think Jonathan Taylor is yet to really show us much of anything so far this season. Maybe that changes here, but I highly doubt it. And Zach Moss has been good, so. But I feel like they're just every week it's gonna keep being lower and lower his touches. So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he has been having a good season.
Yeah, I think Cleveland is one of the prime survivor picks this week could be.
Cleveland's looking nice.
Mm-hmm. So I'll take Cleveland here at 2.5.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And moving on, we got this spread is interesting. The Buffalo Bills are 8.5-point favorites over the New England Patriots, who are at home. I don't know. What do you expect from this Buffalo team? We saw what they did last week against a decimated Giants team who had like basically their second starting offensive line playing. Some pieces on the defense were out.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones was out, and they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. Usually, like last week, Buffalo didn't really perform, but usually against the smaller teams, that's where they put up their huge performance, and they put up like 40 points. So when you say a big spread with Buffalo, I'm usually pretty confident to take it. So I'm gonna take it here, and I'm gonna take Buffalo at 8.5. Especially the way that New England has been trash. I do not have any confidence in putting anything on them. I would not bet on these guys.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. Buffalo's had a stretch of 2 games now where they've just not been good, and they're bound to have an offensive just. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here. I'm going to take the Bills as well.
It's true. Even against the Jags, they actually weren't good either. But this is the type of game they would bounce back.
They have to. I mean, if they don't bounce back here, then we have a serious issue in Buffalo.
It is a division game, so maybe it gets played a bit tighter than 8.5. But I don't know. With the way New England's been playing, you got to ride with Buffalo, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you here. Anyways, moving on to another divisional matchup. We got the Washington Commanders, 2.5-point favorites over the New York Football Giants. I mentioned this in the last video. The Washington Commanders, man, one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL. In some instances, their offense flashes and Sam Howell looks legit, and then in other instances, that team is just pathetic. I don't know, man. What are you feeling about this one?
2.5. I feel like the Giants, another team like the Patriots, they've been terrible this year. I don't really trust them that much. And on Washington, feels like, yeah, like you said, it's very inconsistent. Some weeks Howell's throwing 4 picks. Some weeks he looks like
he's throwing 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns looks amazing. And I'm gonna take Washington. I think this is a pretty easy line to take 2.5 on Washington. Overall, I think they're still like a decent team, so they should be able to take care of the Giants here at 2.5 points.
I'm actually gonna take the Giants here.
Crazy.
I you know what? I have a weird feeling they're winning this football game. So that's going to be our first actual difference of the video. So that's always exciting.
It is at MetLife, so you never know.
It is at MetLife. We saw what happened when... No, they played in Buffalo last week. I don't know, man. I have this weird feeling with the Giants. I just can't explain it. It's this weird gut feeling.
You know, I'm not a fan of the Giants. So.
I know. But, I mean, hey, if they're going to do it, it's going to be here against Washington. Interdivisional matchup, and they got to play them hard. But anyways... Moving on here, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2.5-point favorites over the Atlanta Falcons, who haven't been playing terrible football. And I like this matchup a lot for Atlanta, especially seeing that he's going to have to utilize his receivers because Tampa's front is very, very solid. So I like that Kyle Pitts and Drake London are going to be incorporated in the offense yet again, hopefully at least. I mean, 2.5 is a pretty nice number. It's another divisional matchup. Since it's in Tampa, I'm going to edge the Bucs here. What are you thinking?
What are both the records? 3-2 or
Tampa's 3-2 because they had the bye. Falcons are 3-3.
3-3, yeah. On Tampa, Baker, it was nice to see that he's going to be able to play this game. His injury is not serious at all, and he should be able to go. At 2.5 at home in Tampa Bay, I think I'm going to favor Tampa. They've been very good. Just it's unfortunate they lost against Detroit. Their offense kind of sputtered in that game, but Detroit's obviously one of the elite teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Tampa right now. Atlanta, another team like Washington. I feel they're very inconsistent. Some weeks I feel like their team is like very good, and Ritter's looking nice, and then some weeks it's just like, wow, what happened? What am I watching? So to me, I feel more confident in Tampa here, especially they got the vets and Evans, Godwin, and just that defense with Devin White and guys like that. So I'm gonna take Tampa.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you here. I'm gonna go with the Bucs here as well. Moving on, we got the Baltimore Ravens at home and 2.5-point favorites over the Detroit Lions. This is an interesting line to me.
This surprised me when I saw it. I thought the Lions would be favored in this game.
I mean, Lions are 5-1. The NFL loves the Ravens. Everyone loves Lamar and what they can do, especially at home. I guess that's why they edged Ravens here. I think this should have been a pick 'em, but 2.5. is definitely doable for Baltimore. I just have not seen that offense explode like I wanted it to. And Detroit's defense has been very underrated, especially that D-line and that front seven has been very, very good. It's been pressuring every single team. I see that happening yet again in this matchup, and I think the Lions are just gonna edge this one.
You think they're gonna take it outright?
I think they're gonna take it outright and just win.
You know what? I feel like this type of line, everyone's gonna be smashing Detroit here. I feel like this is like a trap one where to take Detroit. So I'm gonna take Baltimore. I'm gonna go different. Yeah,
I don't hate it.
I don't feel great taking it, but this just feels like a little trap line. Plus, they're at home. I'm gonna take Baltimore here.
I don't hate it. I mean, it's definitely possible. Detroit. I'm riding the hot hand. You're taking probably the safer bet, but hey.
I don't know if they're a safe bet with the way they've been playing some of these games.
Anyways, let's move on here. We got the Los Angeles Rams, 2.5-point favorites over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh getting Deontay Johnson and Pat Freiermuth back in this game.
Yeah, they're healthy.
We'll see if the offense can look better now that those two are back. Should, at least.
Hopefully.
I find this actually, like, I feel like the Rams are the pick. But I don't know, there's something about Pittsburgh. These guys always, every time I pick against these guys, man, they can always just get a result. So I'm guessing you're going for Pittsburgh because I know those are your boys.
I mean, I'm taking Pittsburgh here. I think this defense is gonna absolutely shine in this matchup, especially against that Rams front.
I don't know, the Rams, since Cooper Kupp's come back, they've been very impressive, LA. So I'm gonna take the Rams here, 2.5.
Look, it's very doable, but the thing is, Pittsburgh's coming off a bye, resting their players, so people are gonna be like well rested and just gonna be edging to play. And Tomlin's going to have them ready. That defense is going to do its thing. TJ Watt's going to get a few sacks. Alex Highsmith continue to be an underrated piece on this roster. Mm-hmm. I'm going Pittsburgh here. Healthy offense. Matt Canada's probably got slapped out a few times in the off. But, hey, going Pittsburgh. So this is another difference.
I'm realizing a trend. I've literally taken the favorite in every single game. Which is kind of concerning. But
I mean, it's worked for you. So.
Well, last week I took the Texans. They weren't favored.
That's true. Anyway, whatever. It's football, man. Anything can happen.
Exactly. Let's move on to the next one.
So now this one, we got the Seattle Seahawks 7.5-point favorites over the Arizona Cardinals. We saw the implosion of the Cardinals. They have not been great in this last few stretches. And the Seahawks, they're coming. Were they on bye last week?
No,
2 weeks ago. They played last week. You're right. Seattle Seahawks, I mean, their offense hasn't been clicking as we wanted it to so far, but I feel like this game is the get-back game. They are at home. They are 7.5-point favorites. It's a big number, but I would not be scared to take Seattle in this spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I was considering Seattle to be my survivor pick this week, but I'm thinking about it, and Seattle has not really been able to cover big numbers so far this year. So that's kind of what scares me. Plus, it's an interdivision matchup. But Arizona's been so bad that I don't know.
It's a tough one.
And I feel like if I'm going with Seattle as my survivor pick, I kind of have to pick them for the spread.
You have to feel confident, man.
Yeah. I'll take Seattle. Fuck it. 7.5. I don't like it too much, but anyway, I'll take Seattle.
You got to put that interdivision rivalry down, man. I took the Lions. Look at that.
Yeah, the Lions are actually a legit team.
Anyways, moving on to another game. Kansas City Chiefs, 5.5-point favorites over the LA Chargers. They do have McCole Hardman back.
I don't know how much. I'm actually happy with that trade because I have him in a lot of my dynasty teams. I always had him as like just a little bench piece, and he has done absolutely nothing, zero with that.
Yeah, with that Jets team.
And he actually had a few games last year with KC that he was actually a decent fantasy asset. The one mainly I remember was against San Fran where he had like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna definitely give that deep threat back to Kansas City, which they've been severely lacking. Mm-hmm. They haven't really utilized the deep ball much. I mean, they're still 5-1, so it's been working. That defense, like we have been saying, has been very good for them. So very interested to see McCole Hardman back on this team, the treatment he's going to get. Obviously, he's familiar with that offense. He knows the pieces. I see him being a big-time influence even in this game. I mean, we're going to see Mahomes lean on him because he is that veteran receiver who can catch a football, which is what they're lacking. And I don't know. I'm not taking the Chargers anymore. I'm feeling confident taking the Chiefs.
Especially at 5.5, I'm taking the Chiefs with the defense, the way it's been playing, and we know the offense could just like start playing super well.
Yeah.
At any time, so I'll take KC here. I don't know that Rams pick. I'm still thinking about. I think Is it too late to change it?
No, you can change it. We just got to lock it in before the end.
Yeah, I think I'm changing it.
You're going the Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers.
Oh, baby. All right. So we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Denver Broncos. Basically a pick 'em in favor of Green Bay.
And I'm taking the Broncos here, surprisingly. Both of these teams I have zero confidence in as well. I feel like even the Packers, these guys, some weeks, but not even, the last like 3-4 games they've played, they haven't looked good. But they are coming off a bye, so that could help them. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Broncos anyway. I feel like their defense might, against KC, was very good. And, very good. It was solid.
It was decent compared to what they've been.
Exactly. With the way it's been playing all season, it was pretty good. And I think against Jordan Love and this offense, it could play a lot better. Plus, they played on the Thursday, so it's basically like they were on bye as well.
Yeah, they had that extended break. You know what? You've swayed me. I was thinking Green Bay here, but...
I know it hurts you to have to freaking pick with those guys. So I know
I'm going Denver. This was a very easy sway. Thank you, Brandon. Broncos are winning here. I'm going to smash those Packers because the Packers are the most overrated team in the NFL. And, moving on to the...
Who even rates them?
People still think Jordan Love's a good quarterback. We'll just keep that out there.
I think the verdict's still out on that. He's still a young guy, but so far, the last few weeks, he hadn't really looked great before the bye. But maybe the bye is going to change it. We know for rookies, if you can even consider him a rookie, but it does change.
Fourth-year quarterback starting for the first time in his career, and he has looked absolutely horrible.
I don't know about horrible. He's looking mediocre.
Yeah, horrible. Anyways, moving on to the Sunday nighter. We got the Philadelphia Eagles, 1.5 point favorites over the Miami... 2.5, sorry, my bad. 2.5 point favorites over the Miami Dolphins. What are you thinking about this one? I know where I'm going. Just want to hear your input.
We had the Miami Dolphins #1 in our power rankings.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. You can see us talk about the Miami and their last game. I'm going to take Miami here. I think... Well, it is at Lincoln, but still, I'm going to take Miami. I'm not surprised that Philly is favored here just with the pedigree they have in past seasons. Yeah. But the way Miami's offense has been rolling, I'll take them. The only thing that concerns me with Miami is still the defense. Have not been convinced with the way it's been playing. I did see a report recently that Ramsey, in the next few
Isn't
weeks...
he practicing or something?
Yeah, exactly. So in the next few weeks, we'd expect him to return. That should probably help their defense. I'm going to take Miami here at 2.5, plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take the dogs here in Miami.
How many did we disagree on?
I think only two. I think, because we have the Commanders and Giants, which is different, and
Lions and Ravens.
Lions and Ravens, that's about it. Oh my god, it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's going to be tight.
Screw it, I'm going back to the Rams.
We're doing a double change up here in this one. Brandon's going back on the Rams.
I'm going back to the Rams.
So we will have a winner.
Yeah.
We will have a winner. But yeah, no, just touching up on Miami real quick. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. Their defense has not been great. It's missing that something, but the thing with the Eagles, right, is their offense has not been good either. Whereas Miami's offense has been elite and Philly's defense has been mediocre in some spots. We just know that they have an excellent front seven. Their secondary is a bit questionable this season. So I think Miami is going to be able to exploit them, especially with the speed they have at receiving and just everywhere on that offense. I think this offense is going to run away from the Eagles. They won't be able to compete with them, and Miami's going to take this one.
The only one concern I have in this game is this man right here, Tua. We saw in the one big game they played this year against the Buffalo Bills.
He didn't look great.
He didn't show up. And that's... I know it's easy to put up points against these Carolina Panther type teams and all that. But now I want to see him in these big games where everyone's watching a primetime Sunday night game. Can he put it all together? Because it feels like he's been able to put up these points against these... in games where,
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Drop 70 on the Broncos who are 1-5.
So I want to see him in a big spot like this where the spotlight's on in prime time. I want to see him do it, and I believe. I don't know if I believe in him, but I believe in the weapons he's got. Yeah. So I'm gonna take Miami here. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're both going Miami here. And now
the big one, the one we've all
the main event, the main event of the evening.
Monday Night Football.
San Francisco 49ers are 6.5 point favorites versus the Minnesota Vikings.
I think you guys know what our picks are gonna be here.
I mean, there's no surprise here. We're differencing once again, so there might be a draw this week.
I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm taking the Vikings. 6.5. It's too high. Plus, I'm taking the Vikings money line. Sorry, boys. Taking the Vikings money line, so we already know the Vikings are winning this game, everyone. But honestly, if there is a slight chance in hell the Vikings winning this one,
it's gonna need Christian McCaffrey to not be playing.
No, it's that offense needs to wake up, and I need to see a big game from T.J. Hawkinson, and I need to see a big game from Jordan Addison. I don't think KJ Osborne is the answer. Please, whatever you do, do not use him as your one. Make it Addison. The O-line's got to be elite because you're coming up against a very, very good front. I mean, we know how good they are, so your O-line needs to be there and just somehow get it fucking done. The defense needs to be elite as well. You're playing an elite football team at every single level. You need to be elite.
I'm expecting Javon Hargrave to have a huge game on that interior, to be honest, this game. I know you guys, your interior offensive line, your guards are not too great. So
you're going to hear me about Ed Ingram.
Javon Hargrave should have a big game.
You're going to hear me about Ed Ingram if he fucks it up a few times. But, we're excited to see this one. Honestly, we're the big dogs, but I still have, call me crazy, I still have hope in this team. Mm-hmm. There's a slight chance they win this one, so we just want a banger. We want to see a fun game. Mm-hmm. And
if it's a blowout on the Niners side, I'll take that too.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, for real,
I'd rather not. I'd rather be competitive, but they are arguably one of the best teams in the NFL. So
watch that Monday night game, and you might see us.
You definitely will. I'm gonna look like a freak out there, so you'll see me. But anyways, let's move on to the teams on bye for this week. We have the Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, New York Jets, Tennessee Titans, and the Cincinnati Bengals. 6 teams on bye. It's a pretty big bye week for a lot of them. So let's talk about the Panthers real quick. 0-6 going into the bye. Is there anything you would change for them? I mean, it hasn't been good.
I would change everything for them, obviously. But, I don't know. That's one team that they don't have their first-round pick. Their team is bad. They're getting injuries now. Jeremy Chin just got injured. Shaq Thompson got injured early on. J.C. Horn has not played all season. So, Panthers, it's just rough season for you guys. Yeah, no, it's been rough. Obviously, Frank Reich takes away his coaching duties, and he gave them to the OC or some Thomas, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, we saw what they did last week. Adam Thielen's been on a roll, so hopefully, that Bryce Young Adam Thielen connection can keep clicking. Maybe they can steal 1 or 2 games this season, but I don't see them turning this thing around. So, anyways, moving on to the Houston Texans.
One of the surprise teams in the NFL.
3-3 going into the byes. Your season's not over. You still got a chance.
If you would have told Texans fans before the season started you'd be 3-3 going into your bye, and CJ Stroud would probably be the best rookie right now, they would be ecstatic. So
they would be.
Very good start to the season for the Texans, and I'm expecting them to keep on going. And maybe the AFC hasn't been as good as it usually is.
Yeah, they can make a push.
Maybe they can make an outside push. They probably won't make the playoffs just because it's a very young team. And towards the end of the year, they might fall away. But happy for the Texans and their fans. It's been very rough since Watson and D-Hop left, so happy to see they've got their roster.
And just touching up on the Texans, if you watch them play, they have this sort of energy to them that you haven't seen since Watson's been his rookie season, right? D'Amico Ryans has done a hell of a job right there in Houston, and props on this man. So
look at last year, they had Lovie Smith, Davis Mills.
It wasn't great. It wasn't fair to Lovie Smith, but anyways, that's a topic for another day.
It really made a huge turnaround.
Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, 4-2 going into the bye.
Not been great for them.
Hasn't been as dominant as you'd expect from this Dallas team. Their defense has been good in some spots, but they've also looked iffy in others. So you got to fix some things on the bye. I think at 4-2, your season's still good. You're probably making the playoffs.
I'm probably gonna be the first wild card team.
Yeah, you just wanna have that sort of, I don't know, that sort of change where you just turn into an elite team. Mm-hmm. You got to fix some things. Mike McCarthy, his play calling maybe needs to change. Our opinion on that, and that's about it.
Okay season. Kind of what do you expect from Dallas so far?
Yeah. Moving on to the New York Jets, sitting at 3-3. They've also had a very surprise season considering all their circumstances, all the injuries. Aaron Rodgers slinging the rock. Apparently he's coming back after the bye. We'll see what happens about that one. Jet fans are pretty. I mean, they're very optimistic to say the least.
The Jets obviously once Rodgers went down, it was looking rough for the first 2 games, but I think they've turned the corner now. And plus, post-bye, I think they should be able to ramp up and make a playoff push. And this is a team that legitimately could make the playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely can. And we've seen Zach Wilson, just the turnaround he's had, especially since his first start. You know, he has not been great. I'm not calling him an elite quarterback, but I'm saying he has been better than what we've seen.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think with Breece Hall as well now having a full workload, I think this team is really going to turn around now. Hopefully Sauce and DJ Reed should be back post-bye, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. Moving on to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, we projected them beginning of the season to be pretty much at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, I expect them to be one of their... with Vrabel and just the team that they have, I expect them to just win some games here and there and just be like middle of the pack like they usually do.
They'll be a competitive football team week to week, but they'll just fall short more times than they win.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be just like a 500-esque, maybe below 500-esque season for them. And
for me, the hope post-bye is Tajay Spears gets more work, to be honest.
Yeah, he's looked good.
He's getting a lot of work, 50% of the snaps right now with Derrick Henry, but he's out there, but he's not really getting the ball in those snaps, so I'd like to just see him get more of the ball.
Yeah, which is, I mean, look, if you're considering he's a rookie coming in behind Derrick Henry, we know the career he's had and the pedigree he has, and just to even be at a 50-50 split with him,
that's amazing.
That's amazing. Good on Tajay, and he has been consistent with it. He has done, I would say even he's been more efficient than Derrick Henry in some spots, but we know how much this team loves Henry, and you know, for what he's done to this team, I don't blame them. And he is a definite Hall of Famer, so we shall see what the running back looks like. But anyways, moving on to the last team here, the Cincinnati Bengals, 3-3 on the bye. I think this is a great spot for them to go on bye because Joe Burrow has been
banged up.
Yeah, he's been banged up to start. He hasn't been his old self. So you go on bye, you're 3-3. You know, your season's still up in the air. What do you do? And I think if you're the Bengals, you come back strong.
And then they come out of the bye and they face a very tough test in the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
So 2 weeks to prepare for the Niners is good for them.
It is going to be good for them, but the Niners are going to be banged up after this matchup.
I love all that.
So we shall see.
And yeah, so that really wraps up for those teams. I had a question I wanted to ask you actually.
Tell me.
I put on our Twitter this morning. So go check out our Twitter, follow that. Who are your top 5 players in the NFL right now? Because I was thinking about it, I actually had because regardless of position, usually it would be quarterback dominant, but right now I feel like it's not.
No.
So for me, what I had put was Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
But this is not in order anyway.
Yeah, just tell it whatever.
Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, T.J. Watt, and Max Crosby were my top 5.
You know, I agree with you.
I was debating between Jefferson and Crosby, and I'm like, I don't want to. I feel like I have too many offensive players, so I just put Crosby just to give him some recognition. But like, if you put Jefferson in there, I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
I honestly agree with you, minus the Mahomes.
Mahomes has to be number one, because there's still a certain, like, you have to take their overall work still into it.
If you're looking at overall, fine, I agree with you there. Then Jefferson should be on that list.
Yeah, that's why it was kind of.
But if you're talking about strictly this season,
if you're talking about this season, like Tua can be on there, which I wouldn't.
Tua would be on there. He'd be my number 1, but
yeah, but he wouldn't. He's not on this list. I'm talking about like top 5 players right now, with how they're playing right now and with kind of overall.
Justin Jefferson's at number 1 then.
Over Mahomes, you're crazy.
All right, he's at number 2.
He would be on the list. He'd probably over Crosby there, but I want to give Crosby some recognition with how good he's been.
Crosby has been good. You know what? I don't hate your list. I think it's a pretty fair list, and I would agree with that. But let's do this before we forget the Survivor picks.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that.
The Survivor picks for this week. So, Brandon, what are you thinking? I have a few games.
You were going for the Raiders.
I'm going for the Raiders here. I think they might be interesting. Or I was even looking at the Browns. You mentioned them, and I was like, that is very interesting. But I just think the Raiders here. When else are you going to pick the Raiders? They're going up against a decimated Browns team.
Bears.
Sorry, my God. The Bears, no quarterback. They got Tyler Badgett throwing the football, so we know Max Crosby's going to feast.
I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to take the Raiders as well.
We're both going Raiders. So Survivor pick is Raiders for both. Survivor.
I think it's Jimmy G might not play. Maybe if Jimmy G doesn't play, O'Connell looked not bad, and his Hoyer actually came in the last game, so whatever. I'll take the Raiders anyway.
Hey, the ex-Tom Brady protege coming back, so who knows? And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps.
Actually, you know what? I'm changing it. Sorry guys,
everyone.
I've been changing a lot this week. I'm actually gonna take Seattle. That was my original feel. I'm gonna take the Seahawks.
Seahawks over the Cards. Watch the Cards win now. That'd be crazy.
Hopefully not.
I need you to get a strike, so I kind of want the Cards to win. But yeah, no, that wraps up this video. I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to talk about. Next week, you should expect a video, maybe another the Wednesday or the Thursday. We'll see. It depends on our trip. Obviously, we're in Minnesota. We might do a little vlog.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think about that in the comments.
We're definitely going to try it.
We're going to try it.
We'll see how it turns out. We'll try it.
We'll try it in a little vlog, so show our experience, our first ever NFL game, and we're both really excited about that one. And look for us on TV Monday night. We're sitting back the red zone. So, yeah. I mean, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Follow us on our socials at BGF Pod. Everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.